Okay, here's the fourth video. So we're going to attempt to draw an exterior view of a traditional looking house. So the first thing we're going to do is somewhere on the left hand side over here, I'm going to draw my 2D view of the house only using vertical and horizontal lines to begin with. So I've got two horizontal lines in now and I've got a vertical line. So it's going to be a two-story house. The second thing I can do then is decide where the pitch is going to go. If I'd like the pitch to be that halfway point, you could always measure it. So we're going to measure the halfway point here, send the height of the pitch of the roof, decide upon the height, and then this time you're actually going to use two diagonal lines which don't go back to your vanishing point, which gives you your triangular top on there. If we then decide that because the house is going to be sat on the ground, this is going to be the ground here, which we can then mark in. There we go, there's the ground. Then we said on the last video, video 3, we said we were going to decide upon where the height is going to be for our eye level. So I'm just going to pitch my height slightly over to the right hand side. So it's going to be a bit higher than human height. So human height would be around about here. I'm going to go a bit higher than that so I can look down on the house. So somewhere around about here. I'll label this up as VP for our vanishing point. And then just like we did in the first video and the second video, we started to send the corners back to the vanishing point. Now at this stage now, you don't always have to draw all the line in all the way back to the vanishing point. What you can decide and say, well, I only need this amount of the line. So long as the ruler lines up with the vanishing point, you can then draw in what you think you might need in there. So I don't need it to go all the way along here unless I'm drawing a row of terraced houses. So again, if I pick this point here, which is in line with the vanishing point, I'm going to line it up, send it back to the vanishing point, just draw in what I need. And again, if I line up the top here and line that up with the vanishing point, send that back. So you can see it's going into the distance now. I now need to decide upon the depth of my object. So I'm going to say, look, this is going to be the width of the house at this point. So I'm going to send a vertical line upwards. But then it's decided upon the angle of the roof over here. So we have to do a bit of working out here. So I'm going to do this in red pen so you can see the difference. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to line up this corner here and draw that back to my vanishing point across here. There we go. I'm also going to draw this corner here back to my vanishing point, which I know I won't see eventually, but I need it just for now. Then we're going to use our horizontal point here at this bottom corner here. I'm going to draw a horizontal line across until it hits this diagonal line, which is going back to the vanishing point. I'm going to send this one vertically upwards until it hits this point. And then hopefully, with a bit of luck, they should line up here, which gives me the internal square of the house, of which then I can use this point here. I can send that back to the vanishing point, but as soon as it hits that horizontal line here, it's going across here, it's going to hit that horizontal line there. I'm going to then project it upwards. So this really is a reflection of the initial pitch that we did over here. All I need to do then is I'm going to switch now to the black pen because this is what I want to draw in. So from the top here, the top of the apex on the far side of the house, we're just going to draw a diagonal line down on the side, which then gives us our house. We can then start to put some detail in. So if we're going to put some windows in, but again now we're going to stick to those rules. We can only use vertical lines. There's my window. I'm going to send that back to the vanishing point. So there's my diagonal lines. I'm going to send this one back to the vanishing point. And then we're going to draw a vertical line. That gives me a window. If I want a door, we'll do the same. We've got a vertical. And then we'll send it diagonally back to the vanishing point and then go with another vertical. If let's say you want a garden path here going up to the door, we can just draw in some horizontal lines that go across here. So we can only use two types of lines now. That's horizontal, vertical, or they've got to go back to your vanishing point. So same here. So if we wanted, let's say, a wall or at the end of the garden, we're going to mark it here and line that up with the vanishing point and send that across. And that can go back to the vanishing point. And then over here, this is the edge of the garden on the side. Obviously, some things when you add them in don't necessarily need to be drawn in perspective. So you might want to draw a tree on the side. If I want to put some detail in, let's say on the window, the inside the window, I should be able to see the brickwork here. So with a horizontal line, I'll send that vertically upwards. So that's the inside of the window. And then if I use my vanishing point, then it should hit that very, very small corner there. And I can project that line across on the side there. Okay, so all you've got to remember then, you can continue to add detail. There's an animation on the web link that you can use as well. But all you've got to do then is remember, you're only ever using vertical, horizontal lines, and anything depth wise goes back to your vanishing point over there. Okay.